Welcome to That's So Nova. My name is Nova. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I truly appreciate you. Today, we're going to be doing the Lola pattern from Swim. It's an iconic classic pattern that has been, I've seen multiple different versions of it, and it's a bag that truly makes me happy because it has a retro feel, and a timeless feel, and it's just a really classic bag. It doesn't have a lot of components, so it's fun to modify and to adjust it to what your own needs are. So we're going to be doing that today. I will have the Lola link. That's an affiliate link if you do not have the Lola. If you want to purchase it, you hit that link. I get a kickback from Swoon. I get a little bit of money. Yay! Itty teeny bitty amount of money, but still money. If you're wanting to support the channel and you already have the pattern, I will have my Ko-fi. Is it Ko-fi? Will you buy me a cup of coffee? We're going to be doing a couple of modifications today on the Lola. We're going to be making some side piece details. We're going to take the outside exterior placket and put it in the inside. We're going to have two-tone straps, an unusual, unique adjustable strap, as well as, instead of using not zipper ends, but cap ends for hardware ends at the end of straps, I'm going to show you something that you have in your stash that can make really nice ends. And we are going to put two zipper pulls on there. I'm using the zipper pulls that are D-ring zipper pulls from my handmade space, and I'm using leftover leather I have from another project to use these to utilize it. And I think, oh, we're going to do a side detail. So let me show you the bag. The bag we're doing is the same classic shape that you always see and love on the Swim group. We're doing hidden strap connectors. I'm trying to show you one that's fairly easy, not too complicated, and I think you will enjoy. We're using the Laura Mormino. This is her overlay. When I bought this, I want to say 2 years ago from Tops and Bobbins, or a year and a half. It's been over a year. And what I like about that particular template is it has where you can put your hidden strap connector, and we're going to be utilizing it. We're using 3/4 of an inch hardware in this one because Lola is not a very big bag, and when you put smaller hardware on it, it actually makes it look super dainty but bigger than what it is. We're doing our own side details, and I'm going to show you how you're going to do that with your own pattern piece at home. So make sure you print out one of the main panel and then one that you're going to use for modifications, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to do side pockets. Initially I was going to use these really cool hardware clips, but for some odd reason I couldn't get them to work, but that means I'm going to work on them even harder. So to replace the holes that I punctured, I created my own little D-ring tab with that look exactly like the straps and the hidden connectors, and it helps with this really beautiful adjustable strap. The adjustable strap we're going to be using, where you'll see that each swivel clasp has its own. Part of this strap is a permanent 14-inch strap that is connected to a D-ring where our adjustable strap is. So both sides won't get tangled up, and it's just something that I like, and I think it's a great modification. And all you need extra from your normal adjustable strap is a D-ring or a circle ring or a rectangle ring. We're going to use two zipper tabs on the side. We're using a 12-inch zipper that we cut out from a size continuous 5 zipper pull. And we have our cool nerdy Doctor Who. We have our slip pocket. We have a cool label that I got from Laura Mormino's website. It's bigger on the inside. The print of this is from Twisted Needle Textile. I got it a long time ago, like I want to say a year or two, but if I'm not sure. This is probably going to be shown on October 19th. You can see if she has any in retail or if she's doing a pre-order at that time. It is TARDIS's, but inside the window it looks like stained glass, and it's actually Dragon Con's floor print, so like the pattern they have on the ground. And we also have a nice slip pocket. So we're doing all these modifications today, and I'm really excited to see how the bag comes out. If you finish your bag and you want to share it off, you can tag me at That's So Nova, or I'll put all my Instagram things. I definitely want to see your bag. Or if you're in the Swoon group, tag me. I love seeing anything that I can try to help inspire. I hope I inspired you today with this bag. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, So we are going to be doing the Lola today, and I'm pretty excited. There's tons and tons of videos out there for the Lola, and they're all fantastic because despite what I think personally, that every time someone makes a Lola, they make a slight alteration or slight modification. The Lola is a perfect bag to start your modifications with because it has a beautiful classic shape, not many pieces, so you can really create something to make it your own. Today I'm going to show you how I created a pattern piece for my bag. And this pattern piece is actually Lauren Mormino's. I bought it like 2 years ago from Tops and Bobbin because I liked how they had for the hidden strap connectors, they had the markings. So, and I liked the way it looked on a bag. It looked very like Oxford and classy. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to show you strap connectors. And let me move you down. I should have put my position of my camera tablet better, but here we are. We have our hidden strap connectors, and the way they're set are very unusual and pretty cool. Not a whole lot of work, and we're going to be doing that. And we're going to be taking the inside pocket, the pocket that has on the outside, we're going to put the overlay in the inside and do it, and we're going to have a normal slip pocket. We're going to install the zippers. I'm going to be using zipper ends on both ends. And we're going to start with the strap. No, yeah, we're going to start with the strap. No. All right. I'm not going to show you the full the pattern piece on the side in the view. It is the Lola pattern piece. And what I did is I cut and traced what I thought, well, traced a lot. There's a lot of pencil marks. I traced a lot to where I thought it would be okay at, and I wound up with this, and that's what I cut the fabric pieces out of, is this. So I'm not too sure how it's going to look when it's finally constructed, because every time I do the Lola with some kind of paper powder piece, I somehow lose it. So my suggestion to you, if you're trying to retain your pattern pieces, is maybe put them in like doing a vinyl overlay, or I'm trying to think. There's stuff that you can slip it in with plastic, or what are those things that people use for the binders? It'll come to me, but you can make or trace on a piece of cardboard or a cutting board, and it will, you'll have that piece forever. So I'm gonna put this pattern piece away, and this. So while we have a full bobbin-ish, I'm going to make the adjustable strap connector. I'm going to be using hardware on the sides of my Lola so we can clip a ring and make it a adjustable strap. So you can wear it with your straps and or adjustable straps. So I'm going to be making my adjustable strap. It's going to be 4 inches. So I have one long piece in this beautiful navy cork, and it is about 41 inches. And the smaller one is 14 inches, and it's brown. I'm going to show you a couple tricks right now. We're going to create this strap into something really cool and unique. What you're going to need is a slider, a tri-glider. You're going to need one 1-inch D-ring of your cup or square rectangle, whatever ring, or O-ring. If you're following mine, this is what we're going to need. And 2 swivel clasps. When you open up these swivel clasps, because we all know I struggle with opening up plastic. So what we're going to do is you're going to draw down a line down the center, and you're going to fold it in half like you normally do. You're going to fold it onto itself, leaving a 1/8 of an inch to 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. It really is what you think is best. All right, and we're going to bring this over to the machine, and we are going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch and back stitch at the beginning and end. If you want, and I should do, you can clip this every few inches to ensure. I have like glue from the double-sided tape on my finger. This double-sided tape I love, but it literally strips off my nail polish. Then it freaks me out because I'm like, hey, so if I'm not wearing nail polish, is it taking off a nice layer of my nail bed? What's going on? So I'm at a 4 stitch length. And then when I get to the end, I'm just going to pivot and hop over a few stitches and do 1/8 of an inch on the other side. And then I'm just going to back stitch. Now, why I'm here with this one piece before we are going to do our next, I'm just going to trim the threads. And I'm going to get my, I made these little 1 1/4 by 1 inch tabs so I don't have to use purse tabs. And it just saves it. 1, it uses up scraps. 2, I like the way it looks. And it's just 1 1/4 by 1 inch. And I'm just folding it over on itself and readjusting if needed. Okay. So the ends don't look raw, and you're because anywhere I can save on getting not using hardware, I try to. And I like the way this looks too. All right, so I'm going to bring you back over here. Sorry. My tablet and me are not fine. I'm going to hit the lighter for the ends to make sure that they're like no little threads taken out, and then it really locks the stitches in. All right, I'm going to take one rectangle ring. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to take one rectangle. I always do that. I always take one rectangular ring. It has to be because it's a Halloween one. I'm saying this already, but yeah. I'm going to take one rectangle ring and fold it onto itself. I'm going to grab a clip real quick, and I'm going to grab my rivet setter, and I'm going to grab a few rivets. I'm probably going to need 4. Get my hole puncher, and I am going to punch a hole in the center. Going to put the male portion in. Turn around. You see how it's barely poking out? That's how you want it. You want your rivets not to have more than 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch out, or it cannot set properly, and then you're sad, I'm sad, we're all sad, it sucks. Then I'm going to take one of the swivel hooks, and make sure, see how I almost did it the opposite side of this? Try to make sure that it is on the same side. Slide it through. I'm going about 1 1/4 inches up. I'm eyeballing it, but you can exact measure it. I don't know, I like eyeballing things, even though I'm never 100% right with it. It just, I don't know, maybe it's a little lazy, or you get used to seeing 1 inch and you can just center out a 1/2 inch real quick. Okay, so we have the first part of our strap done. So I'm going to kind of move all this stuff around and take our longer piece of the strap. And this modification you can do with any bag. It's one of my favorite things to do on a bag, because it seems like my clients and friends and family really like the way this feels. I also like it better because if you don't have exactly that 54 inches or 60 inches you need, you can kind of break it up a little bit. Make it a really personable, nice strap. And we're doing the same thing. Folding it. And I'm just rubbing to make sure the tape is nice and adhered. And then I'm just going to bring my strap back and do some clips. You can do it every couple inches. You do side by side, right back to each other, have the whole thing. It's really your discretion and what works for you. Because sometimes I use an exorbitant amount of clips, and other times not so much. It all depends on what piece I'm sewing. It should fold nicely. I don't know about you, but every now and again when I go into my clip jar, I'll see something like super random. And I'm like, why is that even in there? All right. So I'm going to bring you back over to the machine, and we are going to sew the strap 1/8 of an inch down the open side first. And just go a few stitches back to back stitch. Whenever I back stitch, I'm trying to go back stitch only in the areas that are going to be either covered with the man shift cap in, or whatever the hardware is, so that you don't see it visibly. we're going to trim off our excess threads. And then I just trim this little area that didn't want to line up. And then I get my Cork strap-ins. And I'm just going to line those up. And again, this is just a really fast way to cover those raw edges and utilize your quartz, your not just cork, but like your scraps of vinyl. It looks really cool when I do cotton crossbodies. I like to use, like, I save little scraps of vinyl, cork, faux leather, whatever you want, and I usually put it on them too. Okay. And I'm just going to trim off the excess and trim off the stitch that was part of my chain stitching. And I'm going to bring you back over here. I'm sorry, I'm just like messing with everything. We're going to use the lighter that's standing right beside me. I wasn't looking for it, yeah. And kind of burn those melted threads. Just like melt them, and then you just kind of dab it with your finger, so that way it forms a nice little knot. So on this side, we're going to put on the tri-glider. We're going to feed it through the bar and then have it come out the other side of the bar. We're going to then grab our hole punch and punch a hole. I'm going to grab my Amman rivet, push it through, set it. Now on the other end, we're going to grab the strap-in with the rectangle, and this part of the strap that has nothing in it, we're going to feed it through, and then we're going to feed it up through the bar. And make sure your strap is not getting all twisted and tangled. And apparently I didn't melt this one, so this is the perfect time. And don't set your finger on fire like I almost did. Like I said, if you guys know me, I am completely accident prone. It is what it is. And I'm going to struggle to put this through, but it's going to be worth it. I can grab some hemostats to get in the area where I hate doing it, because sometimes it can leave an impression. So just bear with me. The struggle is real, but it's coming. All right. Hold on 1 second. I just thought I had a little bit of a knot, but I didn't twist it. I thought I did. So let me just put it through again, because I have set my other swivel clasp before, and this area was all twisted up. So I'm going to give this a little bit of slack. Put my other swivel clasp that seems that this end doesn't have any melting threads. Oh my goodness, you see this? It's because it's a Halloween one, I believe. This is it. Okay, we're going to feed our other swivel clasp and have it go up by an inch and 1/4. Put a hole in the middle, feed the male side first, flip it over, make sure your rivet's the right size, which this one is, and set it. So let me show you what we're working with now. Put this away. Get all this out of the way. We have a very custom, beautiful adjustable strap. Both ends are even, so they're gonna photograph great. Your adjustable strap is right here. It feeds through this. The adjustable part's through here, but this will always stay straight. So no matter where you have this on your body, you have your clips. It's just a unique feature I like to add to a bag to make it feel a little bit more upscale. No matter if you do it the other way, it's still upscale. This is just my preference of how I like to make it look. So I wanted to put that out there. And then we're going to now start on the exterior. So we have our exterior. This is, I'm using blue Cork, navy blue. And I'm getting my pieces all squared up so they're ready to use. I promise you, like, I organized everything prior to making the video, but then they just voila, vanish. Okay. Oh, yeah, we'll start with this, then I'll show you how to do the straps. Okay, so we have these pieces. What I like to do is I like to put double-sided tape on, like, anywhere in the center where the machine's not gonna hit it, and then I'm going to see their mirrored image of each other. So when you're making the pattern piece, you need one going one direction, the other, so they're not the same. If you make them both the same, then it's hard. So you need two sets of mirror pattern pieces. And I'm just sticking this on with the double-sided tape. I'm using double-sided tape from Wawac or Wawac. All right, and then as you can see in the chalk, there's chalk marks of where I want the hidden strap connectors. So I'm going to line this up and just stick it. All right, so I'm going to bring this over to the machine and we're going to do some top stitching. All right, so we're going to sew around all 4 sides of the perimeter to make sure that the piece stays. It's really important to do this top stitching on the top, even though it's not going to be seen. The pieces will stay together when you're trying to do a zipper, and you won't have something flipped or turned really funky and make you cry, and I'll cry with you. So to make sure that we don't cry, we're going to top stitch. We're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I'm using a 90 weight thread, white Amman. I'm almost running out of this thread and I need to buy some more ASAP. This is my favorite thread. I like to have white stitching on everything. It's kind of like black. I like to use black a lot because it kind of just merges and makes things all super nice. I'm following the inside toe of my narrow foot for my 1/8 of an inch. Take your time top stitching and don't forget to breathe. It's easy not to. Alright, so we got that one done. We're going to snip the threads. And then we're going to start on the little, they look like, okay, so Honestly, when I made these, I was watching Treehouse of Terror with the kids, and they look like Homer Simpson's shoes. If you ever will watch The Simpsons, you know what his blue shoes look like. And I kind of think when I was cutting it out, I was drawing his shoes. Same reason why we're going all around all the way to the bottom edge for 1/8 of an inch. I know it's easy to be like, I'm going to skip this step. But if you put it together and some piece just flips over, it's just so frustrating. Okay, and we're going to now do it on the other side. One-eighth of an inch. Oh, my throat is still not all the way back, so if I'm clearing my throat a lot, I apologize. This strep throat is no joke. I think it's just because the fact that we all had the flu the week prior. Just whew, kids and just school germs. It's like the most wonderful time of year because they're back to school, but also there's like a moment where you have like pure and utter dread because you're like, they're gonna touch things and they're gonna be friends with people, and then I'm gonna get sick. And then when you're sick and everybody else is sick, you're really not sick. So you know how that goes. So we have this beautiful piece, and now we're gonna do some invisible hidden connectors. I'm going to be using hardware that's 3/4 of an inch. It's not a very big bag, and I think when it has smaller hardware on it, it gives an illusion that it's bigger than what it is. At least that's just my thought, my 2 cents. Gonna get my board. All right. So the pieces I made for the hidden strap connector, they are 1.5 inch wide and long, and then I made it, these are 4 inches. So I took the double-sided tape off and butted the ends right next to each other, and that's how I got these. And as you can see on this side, when you open it up, you can see the inside. So I have a white mark to mark my centers, and I'll remark those because my chalk pencils always like kind of fade a little bit. That's why I use them. They don't stay very long. Then I'm going to grab my hardware, get it out of its plastic. I'm going to get an X-Acto knife and a ruler. So what you could do is I made a mark, and I'm just going to put a white choco mark of where I want the ruler to, the X-Acto knife to end. All right. It's about 3/4 of an inch. It's going to be a tight fit, and trust me when I say this, you want it to be a little snug. It's really easy for it to be bigger, and then you can see holes on either end of the strap end. Again, this pattern piece that I got from Tops and Bobbins, that's Laura Mormino's. It had the where you put the placement, and trust me, I truly appreciate it. I'm using just like a regular X-Acto knife that you can get at any craft store. That apparently doesn't have a cap. I was looking for the cap for like 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to grab a pair of hemostats. Okay, these are secretly like every sewist's dream because it can get into areas where your figures can't. And I'm going to pull this through. And if it's a little tight right here, then this is where you can make a little snips. But if it's starting to stretch a little bit, which it normally does, then leave it be. All right, so I'm matching the line to go the same direction, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So on the back side, our strap is going up. The right, you'll see the right side, the wrong side will be touching the wrong side of the bag, and it's up. So let me do this again. I'm going to put my hemostats. You don't have to have hemostats. I'm just doing it because I will sit here and struggle like all day. I have fat little fingers. Or fluffy. I'm sorry. So we have that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to top stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from the hole on this side, on the connector only. On the connector only, you're going to grab your threads. And make sure you put a back stitch. And I'm just going to pull my needle up and bring the thread to the other side. And I'll cut the threads when I get back to the... All right, we're going to cut the threads. We're going to cut the threads. Okay. All right, so we have that. We're going to take our rectangle, D-ring, O-ring, whatever you like, and we're going to bring this front part to the back. So I'm going to just use a pair of hemostats again and just wiggle it in. Whoops, sorry. And do the same thing on this side. I'm just coming from the back. There's not a lot of room, but that's a good thing. You want your hidden connectors to be nice and snug. I'm just keep hitting my water bottle. When you do this, you're going to see, you're going to bring this and tug it back. You just look at how pretty that is. So now we're going to draw a little line, a dot. Well, I draw a dot centering between the two lines about 3/8 away. 3/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, your choice. We are going to punch some rivet holes. It's really that simple. Like, we just did it. Just a slit, one stitch. I think the hardest part for me is making sure everything is even. Through all the layers in the back. And put the cutting board aside. We need 2 rivets. You actually could put another hole, punch another hole if you wish. Like a ½ inch down below would look really nice. Just a thought. All right. Mill in. Mill in. I'm going to flip it. Just make sure all layers got punched. And put the hemostats away, and then I'm going to set these rivets. Ooh, this would be really pretty as a Harry Potter, and like you put the house on there, like Ravenclaw. Everyone always thinks I'm a Ravenclaw because I like blue so much. I am a Gryffindor who secretly wants to be a Slytherin, but that's just me. Okay, so we have our 2 sides complete with a ruler that just fell. That's perfectly how I roll. Okay. All right, so we have our 2 front pieces complete, and what I would suggest to do next is, if you want, you can put purse feet on the bottom of your bag. And then what I did is I have Peltex 71, and then I put a layer of woven interfacing, then my purse feet. And I put my purse feet in 2 inches in, 1.5 inches up. So 1.5 inches going towards the bag and 2 inches going into the bag. And that's where I place my purse feet. You don't have to do it if you don't have purse feet. Another cute thing you can do is that you can take your cork and punch out a hole, like 3/8 of an inch hole, and put a rivet through it, and it looks like, you know, custom purse feet. Just a thought too. We're going to make the handle for the exterior, and then we're going to start working on the interior. Then we're going to put it all together. So for our handle, I'm doing a 2-tone method. One side will be brown, the other side will be the navy blue, and it will look like this. So when we put it through, we can do it on the blue, have it blue, and then when it's captured or filmed on the other side, it's brown, and I just like it. And as you can tell, I put my little makeshift strap-ins on there. And I didn't burn the threads, apparently. I don't know what's going on with me and not melting them. I'm usually really good at doing that. So I made one, and I'm going to show you how to make this one. What you need is some double-sided tape, your straps. Again, I'm using 3/4 of an inch hardware, so I'm going to be using, my measurements are going to be 1.5 inches wide to however long you want them. I believe these are going to be, they're 21 inches because I wanted by the time I like put the hardware in, it'll be almost 18 or 19 inches. So, because I would like to put 2 rivets in each little strap thing. So that's my plan, at least. Then I'm going to grab a seam roller and just, it's like ironing it a little bit. As you can see, like the wrinkles are coming nice and flat. Then I'm going to grab my other side. I'm going to grab my other side and do the same. And if your machine doesn't like double-sided tape, by all means use beacon glue or Dritz washable tape, or clip it. Before I got into the double-sided tape group that swears by it, I would just literally clip each section. And my machine never got gummed up, and I didn't have to clean it as much. Promise you, cleaning these machines because of double-sided tape is not the best. And okay, so I'm going to grab some more double-sided tape, but I'm going to use a 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to place it on one side. And what I'm going to do is just seam roll this to make sure everything adheres, because sometimes it wants to lift. I think Loki might do an appearance. I hear his big feet coming down. I think he weighs like 150 pounds. I need to take him to the PetSmart to go get him weighed. And I'm just going to place this on top. And what I like to do, hold on, he's coming. What's up, Pop-Up? Okay, so what I like to do is I like to take the double-sided tape and I just like roll it, because the reason why I don't clip it automatically is because one side would whatever's on the bottom stays stable, but the top seems to stretch. So what I do is I roll it, and I'm going to show you how much two pieces that were cut the exact same stretched when they're like kind of pressed together. See, that's like about 3/8 of an inch. So yeah, that's why I do that every single time, because I was getting like a really wavy zip, like handles, and I didn't know why. And then someone explained to me, even when they do leather, they put double-sided tape and kind of seam roll it to see if any of it will stretch. So that's what I do now. I'm going to bring you over here to sewing it. We're going to do 1/8 of an inch all the way down. And when we get to the end, we're going to hop on over a few stitches and go 1 1/8 inch down the other side. And then do 1 or 2 stitches to lock that in. Okay, we're going to trim. And so we don't have to use purse straps. I have these at 3/4 of an inch by 1 inch. He like bird whistles. Like, this dog is a really big dog, but when he whimpers, he sounds like a little baby bird. It's actually quite cute. So I'm going to put that right there. He's missing his kids. Let's see. This week has been especially hard because they're already back to school, but like all the after school programs start, and they're gone until like 5 and 4, and he misses them. So I'm back stitching 1 or 2 stitches back and going forward, and I'm gonna bring the stitches over here. Okay, and I'm going to trim the connecting stitch. And then milk those threads. And what we have is a beautiful strap. One side brown, one side navy blue. And I really like it. And you can trim any excess that you have from, if it just kind of bows out a little bit. Just be very careful not to cut into the stitches or into your strap, of course. And we have really pretty custom straps. So we have the exterior all together. Let's start working on the interior. I'm making this a Doctor Who inspired. So this print is from Twisted Needle Textile. I think I bought it like 2 years ago. If you're watching this, I know that they're having I think Tabitha said that they're having a repeat, like one big like rerun. This print's really pretty because it's based off of Doctor Who, and the floors on in Dragon Con. So it's pretty awesome. So I took this placket that comes with the pattern, goes on the exterior. I took it and put it in the interior. I did a tag that I bought from Laura Mormio. Yes, it's bigger on the inside. I cut away the excess so we could put our zipper in. I did the zipper pockets a little bit different. I did in the pattern, I believe it says to cut for your zipper to for your zipper pocket you cut 1 7x9. I did mine's 7x12, so it could be one continuous piece. Then I sewed the zipper on a 1/8 of an inch, and I have it this way. I just placed my double-sided tape and my zipper pull. And I realized that the zipper pull is, oh yeah. All right, so I want my zipper pull to go towards the left, so I'm going to place this zipper placket on it. I made some, they have like, these D-ring pulls are from my handmade space, and then I made a scrap leather like pulls that are 1/4 of an inch and kind of cut off on the side. I'm using waterproof canvas for the interior and slip pocket because you don't have to interface it. That's the big draw. I'm going to place this where I know the middle is a line with the zipper tees. You don't want the pocket too deep because this is again, not a really big bag. It's a small to medium-ish size, and if your pocket's too big, you're not going to be able to go down there. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to flip our bag over where the exterior pocket is now facing out of the bag, and we're going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch. I'm just putting from over here to the end, and we're going to pull our thread to the back so there will be no back stitching. When I normally don't really mind if there's back stitching, but when there's contrasting thread, it can look a little bulky and a little messy. So I tend to, if I'm using contrasting thread, to not back stitch. I'm using a narrow foot so the zipper pull is not in my way, but because it is longer, I like to hold it with the opposite hand. Okay, long tails. So then we're going to grab a needle. You're going to pull on the bobbin thread. The loop for the top thread will appear. Use a needle or whatever is convenient, a stiletto, and take it. And we're going to, I like to do about 4 or 5 knots, even though it looks like I'm doing a million right now. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so what I like to do is I either like to put a drop of glue, because that a knot comes unloose. It's normal, it's natural. So what I like to do is sometimes either put a drop of glue, or I'll put double-sided tape there, or I'll melt it and then put double-sided tape or glue. It's all personal preferences. I'm going to take the bottom and just kind of finger press it. So the glue also helps with that. Now we're going to go up from where this last stitch is, go up, across, and down. Okay, so this side came out good. It's right where I want it to be. So I'm going to take the knot, pull the bobbin, pull the top thread out. And I'm going to show you where I flubbed up at. Yeah, I used the word flub. And I'm going to show you how to fix it. I always have a needle at one of my machines for many reasons, because one, I do mess up, and two, sometimes it can just help tremendously. But let's see. That right here, I want to put the needle, if it allows me. Sorry, I had to get the glue off the needle. If you can see right here that this stitch, when I pull it back, won't look even, I'm going to take a needle, thread it, the top thread, and I'm just going to literally put it in the hole that I'm trying to get it to go to. So it can just be really careful with this, because this is where your lining is. Now I'm going to tie this off. And I'll put glue after we stitch up the sides. I don't want the glue on my sewing machine bed. Okay, so I took the stitch and I put it into the last hole, so that way it wasn't just like an open gap. But now we have our zipper nice and neat inside, and we're going to sew up the sides using a 1/2 inch, because that's what's, no, 3/8 of an inch, 1/2, whatever is easier for you. Make sure you back stitch well in the beginning and end. And I'm going to just bring this across. Because my pocket is a little bigger than I wanted. I probably, if I were to recut it, it would be like 7/11 or something around that, instead of 7/12. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the excess, so it's only like 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to cut up here too. I mean, where the bottom of the pocket that I cut, about 1/8 of an inch away. So it could just help not be in the seam allowance when we're constructing the bag. All right. So we're going to now make the slip pocket for the other side. Make the other piece. And the 2 slip pockets. Have you see writing on mine? 1, I like to put instructions on there in case I'm not reading the instructions. 2, it's just how I roll. Okay, so I'm going to mark out a 1/2 inch. I usually draw all of my lines because I like to know exactly where I need to pivot. And I'm going to have my opening. I'm going to place these 2 together. Okay, and then we're going to go over to the sewing machine. On one side of the opening, I'm going to start. There's a lot of ways to make this slip pocket. A lot of cool ways. You could put trim. I should have did the trim. I thought about that afterwards, but I'm like, ah, okay, so, you know. Okay. Okay, I'm going to grab my pinking shears that apparently has everything on it. I'm going to first cut where my opening is to make sure I don't cut into that seam allowance. Whenever I have to make a pocket, a slip pocket that are right sides together, I love pinking because it opens up and spreads the bulk so you can get a nice crisper pocket. Crisper. All right. I'm going to kind of pink in an angle where I pivoted at, so that way that the corner could have reduced bulk to be a little bit more pointier. All right, take your pinking mess, throw it away, and we're going to just turn this real quick. And then I'm going to get my bone folder tool. You can use any like object, just don't use anything that's pointy and sharp so you don't poke a hole through the fabric, something that's blunt. If your waterproof canvas is kind of giving you a hard time like mine, you always get hit it with a little bit of steam on the right side. Not the side that looks super plasticky, but the side that actually looks like woven interfacing. It looks like a hot water bottle. Like that's what it looks like to me right now. I never really thought of it that way. Then we're gonna now I can unthink it. We're gonna just open up the area, kind of pull this nice and taut. You could put double-sided tape in there if you wish, or you could just clip it. It's really your discretion. What's easier for you. I'm going to pop a few clips in it. And despite what a lot of people do, I'm going to make this the top of my slip pocket. I mean, you could definitely make this the top and just do it that way, but I like to put 2 lines on my slip pocket, so I'm just going to go for it. Make sure you backstitch. I'm doing 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to do 1 or 2 stitches down, and actually 1 stitch down would have been enough. And I'm going to do another row of stitching that's right besides the first set. So it just is a little decorative. And here I'm going to show you why I did the top with the opening as my main focal point with 2 stitches. Is because I'm going to use double-sided tape at the bottom of my slip pocket so I don't have to pin it in place. I want to go 1 inch up so it doesn't get caught into the seam. I have my crease, and I have a crease on my that I just created on there, folding it in half. And I'm just putting it on the bottom. So when I go top stitch, it's not exactly what I want. Sorry. That's the beautiful thing about double-sided tape. You can just re-up. I'm going to crease the top of this. 1 inch up. There we go. And no, because I didn't do 1, I did 3/4 of an inch. The struggle is real today. Alright, so we're going to take a book back to the machine, and I'm going to show you what to do. A lot of people do rivets through this. If you do rivets, please use like a washer in the back, so that way it won't rip through the bag if someone, you know, uses it and this has a lot of stress. Most likely this is going to be where people do their cell phones or whatever. So just a washer in the back so it doesn't rip through. But I'm going to do chicken feet. So it's coming at an angle on this side. And then I'm going to back stitch going up. And then go 1/8 of an inch all the way around. By doing the little like chicken feet, because it's like a V, you're helping that stress area. You can also do a bar tack. If you have like if you're doing a pocket trim, I highly recommend a bar tack, and I'll show you how to do that when we get up there. So if you have like a cork trim on the bottom, on the top, as an accent feature, you would go all the way up until that trim. So let's pretend this white line is my trim. You would stop and you would pivot and go 1, 2 stitches forward, 1, 2 stitches back, and do it 2 times, and then repeat to just go up. So therefore, the stitches are caught in the fabric and not on your trim. But because I did not do a trim, I'm doing the chicken feet. I do like the way rivets look on it. It does give it a really high-end look. All right, so we have all of our pieces. We're going to construct the zipper real quick. So I am using this blue with the antique hardware. I have my strap ends. I put in one, and I'm doing dual zippers. Now, the bag asked for one, and you can very much do it. I've had an issue, not with this bag, just in period. I used to carry JanSports to school, and then one zipper will get messed up, and I was so grateful that there was a second zipper that I can use to get in and out of my bag, or when I took that one off. And so I have this thing where I now, whenever I do bags, if I can make it have 2 zippers, I will, just in case something happens to one zipper, and you never know. So I have the 2 zipper pulls. I have my strap end with my strap end is 1 1/4 inch long by 1 inch tall, because I'm using a pre-made zipper, or not pre-made, zipper by the yard, so it's usually 1 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to bring my strap ends to my line that I drew, that's a halfway point, and then take off the double-sided tape and have the 2 ends meet. My zipper is exactly 12 inches. So I'm gonna stitch this real quick. And I'm just doing a top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the inch, 1/8 of away from the top and bottom, away from the raw edges. And I'm going to grab a chalk pen, and I'm going to fold this in half and find my centers. So I'm going to do the same thing on the back. I'm going to just take it to the back. And find your centers. I can't cut into the tape. I know some people can. I just never had luck. It always unravels for me. So I just try to prevent anything from unraveling. I'm going to grab one of my sides. And we're pretty much now following how the pattern says on, if you go to page 9. I hear crickets. So I'm going to mark my centers on here. And do the same thing on the other main panel piece, exterior. Okay. So I'm going to take this and clip it. And I'm a person, it's so weird saying this because if 2 years ago Shinova heard this, I hate basting with like all my life. Like I feel it's exhausting, and I just want to be, at this point, I know I'm so close to the bag being done that I want to be done. But I do believe in basting zippers because shifting is real, no matter how many clips you put on. That's why a lot of patterns are now doing double-sided tape on one layer, like 1/8 of an inch, so that way it helps keep things together. So we're basting just at like 1/8 of an inch. The one is 1/8 of an inch for me. And I'm just curving the zipper as I'm basting to make sure that everything is accounted for. And then I'm going to grab a lining piece. And I have my centers, but I'm going to just mark it again. Better safe than sorry, right? And you can just do a little V if you want. And we're going to sew the lining and exterior together using 1/8 of an inch. I'm just popping a few clips in so that I know my centers match up. And we're going to back stitch well at the beginning and end, and we're using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And when you get to the zippers, just be a little cognizant about it. You might have to move some zippers out of the way, and that's okay. Take your time. We're trimming, and then I'm pulling this where it's right sides together. And before I pull this where it's right sides together, the area that doesn't have zipper tape, I'm going just to pink real quick, help reduce bulk. I'm just kind of massaging, and then I'm going to clip on the bottom so as I massage the seam. Yes, I really did say massage the seam. Just trying to, I usually clip, like I'll try to make the markings match, like the two V's, and just pull it down so that way when I'm top stitching, it's not trying to roll back into the seam, because that's naturally what it wants to do. Give my zipper a nice little tug. And now I'm going to top stitch it using 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Come on. Little piece of fabric, you want to be so finicky. Let's do this. If my threads want to come up, yeah. Okay, and we're going to grab our second piece and do the same thing all over again. And I'll keep clips on the bottom of the other one so that way my fabric doesn't get all wonky. And I'm just going to clip the top in place. 1/8 of an inch, basting it on. And this basting on this side is more important than ever because you're now working with multiple layers that are shifting because of weight. Okay, I'm gonna grab the lining. This is getting exciting. Going to find our centers. And we're going to do 1/4 of an inch back stitching in the beginning and end. Okay, let's see. Pink in the area that doesn't have the zipper. Okay. We're going to merge. I'm going to clip where the V's are and at the bottom so we can top stitch this. You can open up the zipper if it helps you lay things flatter. Whatever works for you, because this is an awkward place to top stitch, but it'll work. Trying to do it where the camera's not blocked. So I'm going to just do it from this way so you can see. Because if I do it the other way, then the bag is bowing up and you won't be able to see the top stitching. Probably still can't fully, but let's see. 1/8 of an inch. Take your time. Don't forget to breathe. We're going to trim threads and then we're just going to open up the bag. We're going to start by putting the exterior together. We're going to start on one side. We're going to grab our pieces, and I'm going to find the center. It's a good seam allowance. We have literally a 1/2 inch, I believe. I'm doing a little V to find my centers. I should have did this before when it wasn't in this position, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? You can still get it done. I'm matching ends to ends, making sure the little notch V's are matching. Okay. And I'm right here, so I'm going to find my V's on my line. So when we start putting them together right after, we are not having an issue finding our centers. The inside of this bag is really beautiful. This is going to be hard to give away or sell because I know it's going to be perfect for a Doctor Who fan that also goes to Dragon Con but wants to have like a professional looking bag. It's like pretty cool. So we're going to match the centers and we're going to attach the bottom panel. We're going to pin them all the way using the half inch seam allowance. And we're going to start a 1/2 inch from stopping and starting a 1/2 inch away. So let me draw the 1/2 inch marks. This is important to the bag to get it that shape. All right. Starting, we have our 1/2 inch mark right here. We're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance and make sure that the lining's not below it. 1/2 inch starting and stopping. Okay, and we're stopping there. Okay, we're going to do it on the other side. We have our center marks that we're going to make right here. The V's are matching. Putting some clips in to help shifting. Starting a 1/2 inch away from both sides and back stitching. Sorry, my clips wanted to come off. Okay. Now we're going to do some like pinning and clipping. We're going to we're going to do the same thing to the lining. I'm going to start clipping the exterior, and I'm trying to match up. What's really important here when you have these side shoe bar things is you want to match all the areas that you create so the side doesn't look like uneven. Doing the same thing on the upper part. I'm just going around and I'm clipping each, making sure that the lines match it. And if everything was done right and none of the seam allowance was wonky or whatever, it should work out really well. So I'm just clipping for right now because I'm going to do the lining and I want it clipped out of place. So make sure your bag is fully open. And that's another reason why I like the double zipper. And we're going to sew down the lining pocket. I'm drawing my 1/2 inch away. And in the pattern, they have you leave part of the opening of the bag to turn it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sew down 1 inch and then the same. I'm just drawing the line so I know where to stop and start. And I'm going to do it on the lining piece. I'm gonna I didn't find my centers on my lining piece either. Hold on, let's do that real quick. Find our centers. Okay. So on the area that's going to be facing towards the zipper pocket is going to be in the back. This is going to be in the front, so hardly nobody will see it. I'm going to do the matching our centers, and then I'm going to I have my 1/2 inch away, and I'm only going to sew 1 inch into the bag at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so that we can pull our bag through this opening. Okay, I'm going to trim my threads on that. All right, and we're going to do the same as we did with the exterior on this other panel. Match seams, the center seams, starting and stopping at a 1/2 inch seam allowance at the 1/2 inch point. If I, ooh, this thread, it's like, no, Nova, no. Back stitch well. Okay. So I'm gonna trim whatever excess threads. I know, make sure that my clips didn't shift too much. And I'm going to clip all the way down. Now, when I get to the lining part of sewing this, I'm going to increase the seam allowance just like by 1/4 of an inch. So it could be a little bit snugger. Not too much, but just enough. So go back over your clips that you place for your exterior. Make sure every piece is like lining up like I am right now. Take your time. If it takes a while to shift or you need more clips, go for it. I'm just going over each piece. Okay. All right. So we're going to start here. We're going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance, back stitching well at the beginning and end. We're going to use a halfway all the way up to the lining, and then at the lining we're going to increase it slightly so that way it can fit in the lining nice and taut. So here we go. Back stitch. Some areas might be thicker because of the pieces that we created for it, and that's okay. Just take your time. Use a hump jumper if you need to. Make sure your zipper pulls are not in the way. Like, I feel like the zipper pull might be in the way. Just stick your hand in there real quick. Okay, and we're going to go to the other side. Oh, my bobbin ran out. That was actually perfect timing. I'm surprised it lasted that long. To be honest, the 90-way thread, like, I feel like I have to change out my bobbin. Okay, I spoke too soon and decided, hey, you know what, Nova? You want to talk smack? We're helping you. 90-way thread. Usually, the bobbin, I feel like I have to change it out almost halfway through sew every time, not towards the end. Okay, we're going to do this on this side. Raw edges meeting. I'm going to the 5/8 of an inch seam allowance on my seam gauge down here to, or it just says 5. 4 is a half. And I'm going to 4-inch seam allowance, which is a 1/2 inch when I get back to the exterior. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim my seam allowance in the corners starting down to 1/4 of an inch, because you don't want that excess bulk there. And then we're gonna do some more trimming, but that's after we pin the bag together at the ends. So these V's that you created earlier, they help tremendously at this part because we stopped at a 1/2 inch and started at a 1/2 inch. I'm just cutting the strings that are in between the V's from basting. And they help line, I'm going to show you, I'm going to clip it. They help line everything up. The reason why I don't cut my seam allowance, trim my seam allowance down yet, is because I want to butterfly the seams so there's not an excess amount of bulk. But see how when you, I'm going to do it this way, because we have stopped and start, this side lies flat now. So I butterfly clip. My interfacing is coming off on that one. I'm so annoyed. I hate when that happens. I should have let it cool longer. And then I'm doing the same thing on the other side. On the lining side, just clipping. And trimming threads, apparently, that I had that I didn't pay attention to. I love that. I love this V technique because it comes out with a really clean finish. All right, so we're going to sew the exterior panels at a 1/2 inch and the lining at 5/8 of an inch. I'm just going to open the bag up a little so that way when I'm sewing this, it doesn't act all weird. So a 1/2 inch. See how I don't cut threads? I keep saying cut threads, cut threads. Okay, I'm going to sew this at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Take your time. I know you're in the home stretch and you're like super excited. I am too. I love when you're almost done with the bag. And you're like, all my work paid off. Make sure you back stitch. Great. And now we're going to go on the other side as soon as I trim these threads. We're doing the same thing. We're opening it up 1/2 inch. I ran out of foam, so I'm using Decaville Light and Bouncy Firm together to hope that I get that same kind of soft finish. We shall see. Just opening this up. I'll stick my hand in. Make sure everything is lined up. No bubbles. All right. And we're just going to trim that up to about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So all the way around. Let's do this corner. My puppy hears something. He is running. Okay, maybe not. we have really pretty butterfly bushes in the front of our yard, and like anytime a bird, yeah, I was waiting for that. Anytime a bird comes by or anything, he's like all about that barking life. So 5/8 of an inch. Also, he doesn't like anyone walking on our sidewalk. I do the 5/8 of an inch so it can just be a little bit snugger, the lining. Okay, So we're going to trim this too, but the side that has the opening, we're not going to trim. Like we just don't trim. It just, you can do like that 1 inch that we did, but that's it. To 1/4 of an inch. Okay. So I'm just going through the opening that's on one side, sticking my hand in, and I'm going to grab a corner and kind of earth it through. Take your time. If you need to get, you know, some steam from your iron, that helps tremendously. You can warm up your ironing board and like steam your ironing board and then place the bag on top of it, the steam real quick, and it helps like makes the deck of the light or whatever you're using more pliable. If you want a firmer bottom, you can use a stabilizer piece in the pattern and cut from a cutting board and place it in here before you close up the lining. Like just tack it down with some double-sided permanent tape or glue. That could be a thing too. But I find the Peltex is sufficient for me at least, but everyone has like, you know, different like things that they like, you know. Okay. This is super cute. So we have our inside, we have two zipper pulls. This is really nice. This side came out a little bit better. This one is like 1/8 of an inch, but nobody probably noticed. So we're almost getting done. I got these hardware. I want to say Bringberry. It might be, I'll have to find out, that they're side connectors. And I thought it would be super cool. I've never used these before. It would be super cool if I knew where my other screwdriver was. Let me get something with a circle so these screws don't disappear. If this was on the outside, like so, I thought it would be a cool feature. I hope I don't flub up the bag. But I really, really want to try this. So I'm going to use the bottom piece as a template. Get a white tandy pen And I'm going on not where the seam is. I'm going on one side, opposite sides on both. So that way it can look kind of functional, but I don't want... Okay. I'm just already flubbing it up. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to punch holes. I'm really nervous about this. All right, hold on. We got this. We totally 100% got this. I'm going to unscrew the other one. Don't. Okay. I'm going to get my hole puncher. And I did... save this. White marks. So here we go. Say hurrah to the adventure. You know what? I might have to, because that one is so far in, I might have to use a drill bit and punch a hole with that. Bear with me. You're going to hear some banging for a second. Just for like a second. My neighbors are probably like, what is she doing down there? Let's see. Huh. Or I can see if I can use this with a recovery mat. That would be cool too. I hardly ever use this, but it is a great tool to have. I got this from Sew Your Bag Box, and it's supposed to help you get into areas that you normally can't. So we shall see. I think I need to probably let the puppy out. Hi, Loki. What's going on, baby? You come see mamas? I know. You want to say hi to everyone? Okay. Okay, I know, Pop Pop. I know. That's not a real plant, though. You're a good boy. I'll go take you outside. Did you just poop in my face? That's so rude. So rude. All right, I'll be right back, everyone. I gotta turn off the camera, though, Pop Pop, so I can take you outside and go pee-pee. Okay, I'm back from walking my puppy. All right, so we have the bag. I try to put those side connectors in at least one, so it wouldn't be a long time. I couldn't do it. I don't know if it was just me, but the screws weren't. It was frustrating. I'm not going to give up on them. I have them aside for another project, but this is exactly what modifying is. See, modifying is basically to suit your needs. So what I did is I punched 2 holes, and I used, let me see this. I used a rectangle ring right here, and I used 1/4 of 1.5 inches by 6 inches to make these tabs. I usually make the tabs go across from on the sides here to here, but I tried up and down, and I'm trying to see if I like it. I'm kind of digging it right now. So we're going to close up the bag. we're going to pull out our lining. And while you have your lining out, make sure you poke out those corners. It's an opportunity to really get those corners in. And the lining is going to be a little finicky because it's already like comfortable where it's at. Yes, I said comfortable. So we're going to put it in, trying to make sure I get the corners really well. Hold on. I'm going to clip this and then I will show you. I have like everything on my table. The bad thing about industrial machines are the tables that they come with. There is no room. Now, I have seen people make their own table for industrial machine, and maybe if I had a bigger working space, I would do that. But yeah, there is no room. We're going to top stitch this at 1/8 of an inch. This is why you hold on to your threads, people. Okay, I'm going to top stitch this 1/8 of an inch. Now, if you left your side pocket open, your side pocket, your zipper pocket open and didn't do it in close like mine, you can just pull the lining through the pocket. But this pocket is super small, like it's like a 6-inch opening or a 5.5 inch, and it's not very big. And I didn't want anything to rip, so I didn't do it that way. You also can, instead of having it on the bottom, you can put your opening on the sides, what have you. Okay, to punch the holes down into that, into my bag, I wanted to show you the tools that I used. I'm trying to put away tools, a mallet, and a drill bit that I thought was over here. Oh, here it is. A drill bit, and I used a 1/8 of an inch. And I did not use this on my table. The reason why I never show me pounding away on the table is because it's going to vibrate and you're not going to get clean holes. You need to have a piece of metal or concrete underneath you. So I have a marble table. I also have an anvil. I also have a metal plate that weighs a bazillion pounds. And I work in the basement, so I use a concrete floor. I'll just sit down and just pop holes until it's sticking in the mat. As you can tell, this mat is well loved. And to prevent noise, sometimes too, I put a rubber mat in between this and the metal or the concrete, so it can take its vibrations. But that's what I did to get the second holes onto my bag. So we have the 2 zips. Let's see. Is that better? A little better. Okay, we have the 2 zips, and we closed up. We have a nice inside pocket, slip pocket. Now we're going to install the handles. And now you see why I like 2 zips, because it just gives it to me a cleaner finish. Our tabs are right here on the side, so we have that nice little gappage. We have our tabs for now to hold an adjustable crossbody strap. And let me get the handles. Okay, so I like to have my handles go up by 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is move this mallet out of the way, grab my straps, and I'm going to make some markings. First, I got to decide, do I want the blue or the brown to show? There's a part of me who wants the blue because the hidden adjustable straps are blue. But right now, how the bag is kind of going, there's a brown bottom, blue, brown top, and then a blue zipper. So the next logical would be brown. But in my head, I'm going to go for glue because sometimes we got to go outside of our box. So I'm going to draw 1.5 inch mark with a Tandy leather pen. It's like blocking the light. On the brown side, that's going to be the inside. And I picked up the tip of, I forgot who I picked up the tip with marking the handles, because my eyeballing the handles, oh my gosh, it's catastrophic. Like, it's horrible. Like, one handle will be like super perfect and the other one's not. So when we're folding it over onto it, we should have enough if we want to have 2 rivets. You can grab a rivet placement. And that helps tremendously. And before you do your marker rivet placements, just slide one of the handles on to make sure that if I place a rivet there, it won't mess up. Okay. I'm going to punch some holes where we have the rivet placement. I'm just going to fold it over onto the other one. I'm going to pop a clip that's not connected to thread. And punch a hole. And I did it for both layers so that they can have the exact placement. And I'm going to bring this one over and do the same thing. Punch a hole so they all have the same placement. Pre-punching your holes is a game changer for me too, because I'll clip it to my bag and then I'm like, yeah, okay, I messed up. And I use a lot of rivet placement tools because it just helps. All right. So I'm going to slide this through. I'm going to grab some 8x8, or is this 8x6 rivets? And then I'm gonna, before I do the punch the holes on the other side so everything fits nice and tight. And I'm going to just press in the rivets and not set them until I do all 4 straps parts. Sorry, that didn't even do it. I think I need to clean out my hole punch. When you have too much like materials in there, it can make it not punch through, and it could be a little bit finicky. Doing the same thing, bringing it over. If you see, if you're working with vinyl or leather or cork, definitely burn your threads at this point if you see any extras. I like straps because you can do a lot of your modifications with it. Like, you can make a continuous handle where there's no, you don't need strap ends. Rolled handle, webbing, so much. And then we're going to place it on the other one. This is such a dainty bag. Going to that 1.5 inch mark. Normally, so I don't know how other people feel, but after I'm done really sewing a bag, like sometimes I mess up on the handles because I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I spent a lot of energy and time on this bag, so I can get a little bit careless. It's a good word. So sometimes when I'm at this stage, I walk away and finish it tomorrow, like when I'm all fresh and like exuding with like, yeah, we're gonna make the best thing, like, you know, really hyped up about what I'm about to make, so that way I can make sure the bag finishes as best as it can. It's a reason why a lot of people make their straps and handles first, because not only you don't want to play bob and chicken, but they're highly featured. We're about to be done. We're going to set these, and then I'm going to show you the bag. And I'm hoping that this slight modification of the Lola will inspire you to make modifications of your own and post your Lola in the Swoon group or on Instagram, and, you know, tag Swoon, tag me, because I definitely like to see other people's work. I get inspired when I see other people's work too. And I hope I inspire people when they see my work. Like, it's very interesting to see like everyone's different perspective on bag making. It's pretty cool. So we're going to now set these rivets. I told my husband to get a piece of wood to put my rivet press on, so hopefully he goes to Lowe's or Home Depot today. Okay. Oops, and the back of this popped off. Okay. Put another one. And this is the last one. Okay. Put this down. Grab the adjustable strap. And we are going to change some views so you can see. Okay. Okay, so we are done with the bag. We finished this really gorgeous classic Lola. I love the bottom of this bag. Let me make sure you poke out the corners and you trim your seam allowance. You have this really beautiful bag that I still have chalk on. We worked out having our version of what we want to create. I think it would be really cute if someone made it into a heart or clouds or rainbows. You can do a lot. Once you practice one way, there's so much more you can do with it. So you can add a zipper, another zipper pocket, another slip pocket. You can make it have like different components to hold pens, lipsticks, whatever you want. You can try to make this with some leather or cork or so many different things. You can have a lot of fun with it to make it your own personal brand. So what modifications we did today, we have Laura Mormino's overlay. We created our own pattern piece for the sides. We did zipper tabs on both ends. We also put two zipper pulls on here. We put our purse feet 2 inches in, 1.5 inch high. We took the zipper placket that was out of here and put it in the inside of the bag, as well as a slip pocket. We did a lot of great stuff. We did two-tone straps. We did an adjustable straps that have 2 different colors, and both of the swivel clasp has they're separate from the actual tri-glider pulls, zipper. So we also did strap ends with our own cork that are scraps from this, so that way we don't have to use additional hardware. We did use a lot of rivets, but not a whole lot of hardware. We did a modification on the fly where we took a piece of 1.5 inches, 5 inches wide, and punched 2 holes to make where this can have adjustable straps. So we did it. So if you have any questions about Lola, or if there's another swoon pattern that you desperately want me to make or modify, please message me, or please leave a comment down below. I really try to answer all the comments within a few hours. So I'm really excited about this. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to put this in the swoon group. You put your bag in the swoon group. Definitely tag me. I'll leave all my information down below. There is the Lola pattern that I'll link. But most people I know have it. If you do purchase the Lola link, it's an affiliate link through Swoon, and when you purchase it, I get a little bit of kickback. If you have that and you're like, hey Novo, I still want to support the channel, I'll put my Ko-fi information where you can buy me a cup of coffee. And that is it, my friends. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. Until the next time we see you, like, subscribe, hit that notification, share if you think this is worthy, and happy sewing. Bye.